Hello, everyone. This is Gilberto from Maverick Media Lab, and I'm here with one of our awesome clients, Tom Gibbons, and his associate. We have Tom Gibbons as well, and they're going to be covering what it's like working with Maverick Media Lab. They are now 5 weeks into getting realtor appointments. They're from PRMG, and they're going to tell us a little bit about what the appointments have been like now talking to realtors and being able to have those Zoom conversations with them. So, John, tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
Yeah, thanks, Gilberto. So one of your representatives started calling me, I think, in December, and stayed in touch with me over a couple of months, and kept telling me what a great service you offered to connect loan officers with realtors. So of course,
Shout out Enrique.
Yeah, shout out to Enrique. He did a great job. We had to go through an approval process at PRMG to get you guys approved to do business with. So that took a couple of weeks, but we got that done. And we launched, I think at the very end of February, you started, working calls for us. And, with the expectation that they would start at the beginning of March. And I think that the program is up to 15 appointments in a month. Is that right?
Yeah. 15
Okay.
appointments per month.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I can tell you that as we just finished the month of March, I think we've had the whole 15 appointments. And I know today we had 1 or 2, and tomorrow we have 2, and the next day we have 2. So you are definitely keeping us busy talking to realtors that we previously never had spoken to. So yeah, it's been very good.
Talk to me about what was the situation before December? Like before Enrique had reached out to you, what were some of when it came to growing the realtor base of your referral partners, what did that look like for you? What were some of the struggles or kind of bottlenecks that you saw beforehand?
Honestly, that's something that just, we never really had time to do. We're busy originating loans and dealing with realtors that we already have. And sure, you definitely want to expand your, relationships to, additional realtors so you can continue to grow your business. But finding the time to go out and make that contact to, spark an initial conversation was something that we just didn't have time. Or maybe didn't have the skill set, because we maybe could find the time, but that's just not really something that, I would say we have, expertise at. So it was exciting when, when Enrique was telling me that that's what you guys do, that's all you do. And, we were excited to try it out. And, I can tell you after, conducting initial meetings with at least 15, realtors, somebody asked me today, do these realtors know, why they're getting on the phone with you? 'Cause I've done this before, and the realtor was like, that's not what I thought we were talking about. But yes, I can tell you 100% that when you set up an appointment, the realtor knows exactly what we're there to talk about.
Nice. And it's interesting you would mention that, it's not something that you had the time for, the skill set. That was something that Linnea, a prior client of ours, also mentioned as well, as when she started to kind of delve into the world of doing the outreach to real estate agents, it was a whole nother skill set of prospecting them and all the stuff that happens before the meeting. And it was just something that she wasn't really used to, and she didn't want to get used to it because it was it was a time thing. She was busy originator as well.
Right.
I know one of the things that originators have in their mindset in terms of getting more referral partners is I could do the cold calls myself, or I could do this on my own. What would you say to that?
Like me doing the cold calls?
Yeah, to, I guess, the originator out there who is saying oh, well, I don't need the service. I would just do the cold calls myself.
Somebody's saying they don't need you, they'll do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Would they really do it? They might think they're going to do it, but are they going to, that's just, you can't be good at all kinds of different things, right? If you're good at originating loans, then originate loans and let somebody else that has the expertise at, the initial introductions and setting up those appointments handle that for you, because, going to allow you to just do more business. If you redirect yourself to start calling all day, every day, that's going to get in the way of getting loans originated.
Making those 4 hours of cold calls. Yeah, we've had several like people that do come to us when they are at that point where they've tried to do it for 3 months or like 6 months, but it's like a kind of roller coaster. Like some days they're consistent with it, some weeks they'll do it, and then by the end they'll just like kind of quit on it because it's like the cold calling just takes a toll, it's like, and they have the other originating things, it like all just stacks up. So yeah, I completely resonate with that. As you just said, a lot of people come to us for that reason.
Yeah.
And
Gilberto, in our branch, we're lucky because my son Thomas, who has been with me in the mortgage business for 9 years, he's our operations manager, and marketing is his responsibility. So, when I started talking about, hey, this guy Enrique's calling me and this is what they can do, and Thomas is like, we can just do that ourselves. And I'm like, yeah, okay, we aren't doing it now. And if we're not doing it now, and we're not going to do it next month or the month after, so why don't we try these guys out?
Yeah, we have other branches as well that kind of hopped on for the same reason as well. Like they'll have like a loan officer assistant do it, and then like after that, like the loan officer assistant gets like busy with other things, or like they get burnt out with it. We had one guy just the other week who said that he's tried 2 LOAs, and like both of them like just left after like a month of cold calling realtors. So it's just like it's too much, and like I guess too little pay like compared to the calls that they were doing. So yeah, it was very interesting. One thing I always like to ask is like, from now the 5 weeks of like getting the appointments, what's been like your favorite part about it? Like what's been the most valuable part about the service for you?
So honestly, what I like is the fact that we have a dedicated account manager with you, which is Angelo. And, if we want to kind of fine tune a process, we just reach out to Angelo, and then boom, he finds a way to, meet our request. It's, for example, you said at the beginning, we like Zoom. And I think we're, one of the first people to ask you to make these appointments on a Zoom format as opposed to just a regular telephone call. And we wanted to do that because, again, we have Thomas here as operations manager responsible for marketing. So, he's made up like a presentation on PowerPoint that, we find, it to be a great venue to go over with the realtors. If we're on a Zoom with them, then, we get to meet them face to face. We have had a couple that never turned on their camera, but usually they're all with the cameras on. I'm a big camera person on Zoom. We've got a great presentation that Thomas put together, and we just kind of go through it, and it flows nicely, and it's a great beginning all the way to the end, and leads to a nice conversation, and really, I think, helps us get a nice relationship started.
That's excellent how you like actually for the meeting itself, like you go in there and you have like a very strategic, like almost structure on how to dive in on that meeting and like navigate through it. That creates like consistent results. That's always something that we have our clients, like we constantly tell them is like, if we can have a consistent input, like the way that you navigate the meeting is similar, like the output will be similar, like almost like having a script or like a framework for the meeting. So that's excellent. Like our successful clients like yourself, like they always have like something, they have their processes in place and all that stuff. They're good on presenting their value to the realtors and showing them how they can like fit into their business. So that's excellent.
Yeah. And again, doing this now for 4 or 5 weeks with the realtors, we started out with a certain presentation. And even this week, I had Thomas fine tune a couple of the pages, there were things that we kept talking about that weren't in it, and I said, get that information in there, so it's in there now, so it's an evolving process.
Absolutely. It always is. Love that. And then I know like for you and probably like many other of our clients, like you get a ton of calls from like other marketing people, and probably in your inbox, it's like constantly every month you probably get these messages. So what made you decide to move forward with us, or even like take the call in the first place? Like what was it that stood out or made you like really, take that leap of faith and start working with us?
Honestly, what probably allowed us to jump in was the fact that you had already worked with somebody at our company. And, so we reached out to that person just to say, hey, what's going on with Maverick? Are they doing what they say they're going to do?
Are they legit?
Yeah. Are they legit?
Yeah.
And, we got a favorable response from our, coworker, and much the same as the response I give, because now that we've been working with you for several weeks, you have mentioned that to other people here at PRMG, and I'm totally fine, giving anybody my, my opinion on how you guys perform, because you've delivered everything you said you were going to deliver. And you asked me at the beginning of this, like, other marketing companies, and yes, we have engaged other companies in the past. And there's always these stories, like I can think of one, like, oh, if you sign up with us, the worst results anybody who works with us gets is 8 applications a month out of just buying our service, so we did it. And no, you don't get 8 applications in 5 months, so you deliver exactly what you say you're going to deliver. Great job.
Love that. Thank you so much. And I know you mentioned like you tried other marketing programs, like it sounds like direct to consumer stuff. Now that you've tried like both, like the referral partner route and direct to consumer, what have you found as like the differences in like both of those? Like, and I'm sure you have referral partners now that send you business. So like, what have you seen as like the main kind of difference? And I ask it because I know there's loan officers that come on and like, hey, well, I'm deciding between this and like direct to consumer. I think this might be a better route. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I think that you can't really just do one and not do both. I mean, if you want to have a successful business as a loan originator, you want to have direct to consumer. And the reason you want to have direct to consumer is because when you're working with realtors who are referring you business, you want to have business to be able to refer to them as well. So if you have a lead source for consumers, then you are hopefully going to have, you're going to have referrals to give back to the realtors who are giving you referrals. So I think it's important to follow through with both avenues of business development.
Have both of them in place, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And for the person out there that's watching this now, probably they're about to hop on a call with us, or they probably talked to someone from our team and they're on the fence about working with us. Like, what would you say to that individual who's like thinking about moving forward?
Yeah, so if somebody is on the fence about working with you, all I can say is, what you say you're going to do is make an introduction and create an appointment. And sure, are there some appointments that the realtors might forget about and not show up? Yes. So over the last month, there have been a couple of no-shows, but we've also had a couple of those no-shows that rescheduled. They just got busy and forgot. But honestly, this is not a, the type of appointment where you're going to meet with a realtor and they're going to be sitting there with like 10 buyers that they need to give you to pre-approve that day. No, this is just get things going, start a relationship, and you've got to crawl and walk before you run. But ultimately, if you develop these relationships and have a good rapport going back and forth with agents, you should be able to expand your business by utilizing the services that you provide. And I believe it should be a significant expansion, because you have, you're not looking for, somebody to work with for 1 month. You want like recurring clients. And I mean, I can tell you sitting here, right now that, I wouldn't see a reason not to work with, you continuously. It's not a like, oh, let me get 3 months worth of appointments and then I'm too busy. No, we're ready for it.
Love that. In scale mode.
Yeah.
Growing out the company. Love it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, John and Tom, I really want to appreciate you guys for you guys' time. I know you guys are busy and got a lot of loans in the pipeline and realtors to talk to. So I really appreciate you guys hopping on and just giving your honest feedback after 5 weeks of talking to realtor appointments. I'm sure this will be like super valuable for any loan officer that's thinking of working with us. So I really appreciate you for the feedback as well that you've given to me.
That's our pleasure, Gilberto. Thank you for all you do for us. Great job.